Yeah, hello and welcome to my presentation. It's about the impact of stereo 3D sports TV broadcasts on users' depth perception and spatial presence experience. So as we all know, sport events like, for example, yesterday, the Super Bowl, can attract millions of people to watch this event either live on site, if you're lucky enough to get a ticket, or remote at home on television or in a sports bar. And with Stereoscopic 3D, the user's experience and perception of such sports events can be enhanced. And this is exactly what we were looking at in our study. So we believe that sports or sport disciplines are particularly interesting for Stereoscopic 3D because of the different usage of space and the different basic conditions between sport disciplines. So Stereoscopic 3D promises users to get a better perception in terms of a stronger feeling of depth perception and a potential stronger presence experience. Presence experience is often referred to as a feeling of being there in a depicted space. And we developed a multi-level approach to analyze how stereoscopic 3D sports impact users' perception. So on the first level, we conducted some qualitative interviews with 3D experts that are capturing 3D sports. And with the results of these qualitative interviews, we derived our general hypothesis, and we built a first experimental design that we then implemented in a preliminary study with 8 participants. Here we had a look at soccer and boxing as sports content, and following that we conducted a main study with 31 participants last year in July. And today I'm focusing on this main study where we analyzed soccer and BMX mini ramp. Our goal is to establish guidelines on how to capture sports for stereoscopic 3D content. Here you can see our research hypothesis. So we expected an impact of the dimension that 3D elicits a stronger impact on depth perception and spatial presence experience. We also expected an impact of different presentation parameters. So in soccer, we distinguished between a near camera position and a far camera position from where the soccer was captured, and between a small and a large field of view. And we believe, or we expected, that near camera positions and a small field of view elicit a stronger depth and spatial presence experience. And for BMX mini ramp, we distinguished between lateral motions and motions in depth, and we expected motion in depth to get to elicit stronger effects on perception. Also, we expected a different impact of the sport disciplines because of the different usage of space and the different basic conditions of the sport disciplines. We expected BMX mini ramp to have a stronger effect on depth and spatial presence. Here you can see our lab. So this is a participant in front of our Toshiba Rixa 47 inches 3D TV. We were using passive glasses. And in the main study, we had 31 participants in total. They were in the age range between 20 to 39. They were all naive to the research hypothesis, and that were 16 males and 15 females. Before we started with our study, we conducted some vision tests, and they all had good vision acuity as tested with Lundell's C-test, and a good to normal stereo vision as tested with rendered stereo test. Every participant received €20 for participation. And the procedure looked like this, that we started with a training session. We did this training session because we wanted the participants to get used to this situation of being under study, and so that they could get an idea of the range of the potential stimuli. Following the training session was the main part, which was divided into 2 parts. In one part, we showed the participants one dimension, so only the 2D dimension, and the other part we showed them only 3D stimuli. the presentation order changed amongst participants to make sure that there are no sequence or no effects of the presentation order. The duration was 1.5 hours to 2 hours per participant. So every participant was tested alone and had to assess all of the stimuli. That means we had repeated measures design here, and we used the single stimulus method to present our sports content. This method has the advantage that only one stimulus is shown at a time, so the participant gives a total score of each stimuli. And we did subjective assessments for depth according to the recommendations of the International Telecommunication Union. On a 5-point Likert scale, from 1 is bad depth and 5 excellent depth perception. The spatial presence experience was, here we used 2 questionnaires. The spatial presence experience scale and the measurements effects conditions spatial presence questionnaire, that are both questionnaires that are built on the basis of a process model that was suggested by Wirth and his colleagues. It's a model that tries to explain how spatial presence can emerge. And the difference between those 2 questionnaires is that the SPES is a short questionnaire which comprises only 2 dimensions, that is self-location and possible action. So that means how far does a participant feel like he's really there on site, and possible action means how much can he feel like he's interacting with the environment. And we used the SPSS after the presentation of each stimuli. The MEC SPQ questionnaire was used after the presentation of 1 dimension to get more information about the spatial presence of 2D and 3D. And this questionnaire comprises 8 dimensions in total. Here you can see screenshots of our stimuli that we used in soccer. So as I already mentioned, we distinguished between a far and a near camera position, and a small field of view and a large field of view. So that means here you can see that the camera is quite far away and the players have lots of space to move in the large field of view. And here the camera is still far away, but with a small field of view, it looks like there is not much more space for the athletes to move, and there's not. It's more a compressed space that is shown. We used identical 2D and 3D stimuli, and to get 2D content out of the 3D video stimuli, we used the left eye video stream. All stimuli took between 8 to 17 seconds. Here you can see the lateral motion in BMX mini ramp, and here motion in depth where he was moving like this in BMX mini ramp. So these were the stimuli that we presented our participants, and besides all the subjective assessments, we also did behavioral tests that were recall and recognition tests to get more information about whether 3D can enhance spatial skills, spatial orientation skills. At the end, we conducted some qualitative interviews to get some richer data of the participants. But I will focus on the quantitative data here today because of time matters. So at the beginning, we used a MANOVA with repeated measures to analyze our quantitative data, and we found significant main effects of the variable, of the dependent variable, of the dimension, the camera position, and the field of view, and some interaction effects. And here in this figure, you can see the results of a follow-up ANOVA with repeated measures. So we could find a significant main effect of the 3D dimension. As you can see, 3D elicited stronger depth on a scale from 1 to 5 than 2D. And a near camera position elicited stronger effects compared to a far camera position. You can see that here. And a small field of view also elicited stronger depth compared to a large field of view. Here we found two interaction effects. That was the dimension and camera position, and camera position and field of view. For self-location, we get similar results. So again, we could show that 3D elicited stronger self-location than 2D. And we could also show that near camera positions elicited stronger effects than far camera positions. And for the field of view, we could find that in combination with a near camera position, a large field of view elicited a stronger self-location than one with a small field of view. Here we found three interaction effects. That was dimension and camera position, as well as dimension and field of view, and camera position and field of view. For possible actions, we could confirm these results again. So we had a stronger impact of the 3D dimension compared to 2D on possible actions. We could find that a near camera position was superior to a far camera position, and a small field of view elicited stronger possible actions compared to a large field of view. Then we compared, then we did the same for BMX mini ramp, and here the MANOVA showed significant main effects of the variable and the dimension, and one interaction effect of the dimension and direction of motion. But there was no significant effect of the direction of motion found. And as you can see here, as an example for depth perception, we could find a significant main effect of 3D. So 3D yielded stronger effects on depth than 2D, but we could find no interaction effects, and we could also find no effect of the direction of motion. The same was for possible actions. Here we could not find any interaction effects. Then we compared the sport disciplines. In order to compare soccer and BMX mini ramp, we used the mean of all scene layouts, and we could find that again the 3D dimension elicited a stronger experience, a stronger depth perception, as well as self-location and possible actions than 2D. But we could not find a significant effect between the sport disciplines. We could find only one significant interaction effect, that was the dimension and sport discipline, and here we could find that 3D soccer was in for depth perception and possible actions superior to all other conditions, and we could also find that 3D BMX was superior to 2D soccer. Only for self-location we could find that BMX mini ramp was superior to 3D soccer and 2D soccer. So to sum up, we could find that 3D indeed elicited a stronger perception on depth perception and spatial presence experience, with the exception of BMX mini ramp and possible actions. We could find that the scene layout was crucial for the user's perception, so especially near camera positions yielded stronger effects on depth perception and spatial presence experience. But when we capture sports like soccer, we always need to have an overview. So that is why also far camera positions are needed, but in order to enhance self-location, the use of small fields of view is required. And as we did not get any significant main effects of the dimension on possible actions in BMX mini ramp, and did not get effects of the direction of motion and between the sport disciplines, we thought about reasons for that, and we came up with one assumption that this might be the reason that the athlete in BMX mini ramp was not always visible to the audience. So this might have led to lesser impacts on the perception. These results were confirmed due to the qualitative interviews that we conducted here, participants told us that the athlete was not always visible and that it was difficult for them to feel like they could interact with the environment as the athlete was partially hidden. So that's why 3D captures of sport disciplines that are not totally accessible with cameras should be avoided. And in future research, more sport disciplines should be under study, and more conditions to give more ideas on how to improve users' perception and spatial presence experience. Thank you.